Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for September 26, 2023, the Deutsch Bank fined yet again edition. And we begin with that story from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Mingy Sun reporting that the SEC has fined Deutsche Bank for ESG greenwashing and money laundering allegations. The Deutsche Bank's investment arm agreed to pay $25 million for overstating how it used ESG governance factors in its funds, one of the first cases in this arena. The investment arm, DWS, also settled allegations from the SEC it failed to comply with anti-money laundering rules for mutual funds. Deutsche Bank brought down by yet another whistleblower and another fine by the SEC. Next up, the Bob Menendez saga continues as he remains defiant and says he will not resign based upon the indictment because they are just allegations, and that the naysayers have underestimated him yet again. Perhaps he thinks that the current corrupt Supreme Court will protect him with either its current rulings or perhaps another ruling. But pretty amazing, and looks like it's going to be pretty ugly. Next, we have the first of 2 stories from the FT, or the Financial Times. Western companies are taking slow steps towards China de-risking, and they're insulating their China operations from the mounting tension over trade and geopolitics between Beijing and the West. The notion, which replaced the radical decoupling as a diplomatic buzzword, is a sign the West is seeking a less antagonistic approach to managing its relations with China. Whether that will be enough to protect companies, both in business and on the legal end, it is something that I think many companies will be using going forward. And our final story comes to us also from the Financial Times. This time it's about leadership. And Citigroup Chief Executive Jane Fraser has warned the bank's 243,000 employees that it's time to get on the train or leave, meaning with the radical reforms she wants to put in place. So she is challenging employees to get on the bus or not get on the bus, but it's going to be her way or the highway. How about those for some metaphors to sleep on? The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.